gonna practice my reading, woman. I'm gonna come down from the mountain, gonna get me a library card. 'Cause I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows that I am. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows I am.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Women's Northern Footy Show. We're super excited to be back again this week, and as always, I'm joined by Liv. How are you, Liv?
Hello, I'm very good, very excited to be reporting back another great week of women's football.
I love it. We have lots to talk about this week. Talk us through what happened on the weekend, Liv. Just an overview of the whole week.
Well, it was a huge week for women's footy in the NFNL this week. There were some big and small margins, but we'll start with Division 3 women's. So we saw Diamond Creek Women's 2 win against Lorimer by 53 points. Diamond Creek Women's, their second team have dropped from Division 2. So this is them back in Div 3 now. Georgia Hoskin was the only multiple goal scorer with 2 goals. And
we saw lots of multiple goal
kickers.
kickers.
And 7 individual players from Diamond Creek kicked a goal. So it's great. They're sharing the ball around. So no huge.
No Rory's there.
No. Another team who has come down from Division 2 as well is Wallen. They won the flag in Div 3 last year, but have dropped back down to Division 3, and they came away with the 4 points against Epping. They left Epping scoreless. Total score was 40-0, so not a huge score.
No, not massive.
No, but Tony, Gus and Houben kicked 4 majors for Wallen. So
I think there was a talking point too there that you wanted to discuss about grand finalists who have dropped down.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So Wallen won the Div 3 flag last year, and if it was men's footy, would they drop down again? Probably not. But if they win the grand final this year, people are going to ask questions, and so it's tough for the league, I guess, and for the club. What do we do? Do we get hammered in Div 2, or do we just mellow out in Div 3 again? So
yeah,
it's tough.
And I think it's tough because it's also you kind of only improve if you challenge yourself and go up the division, but then you said, who knows how they would go.
That's right.
I think it'll be a wait and see, a bit of a watch. If they do make it to the grand final again this year, it'll be a very interesting topic of discussion that I think we'll probably come back to later in the year.
Yeah, it will turn a lot of heads, especially for, we're a first-year side and we're up to Div 2 already, and, we copped it this week. We got done by 69 points, but that's okay. It's great learning, and I'd rather be challenged every week than win by 100 points. You play your best footy when you're challenged.
Absolutely.
Back to Division 3, we saw Hurstbridge defeat Heidelberg West at Ben Freeley Oval. Heidelberg West only managed to kick 2 majors throughout the whole game. Melissa Martini and Tash Harrett were 2 players who managed to secure more than 1 goal for each from the hosting side. Great win for Hurstbridge. Then last game for Division 3, we saw South Morang defeat North Heidelberg. South Morang won by 96 points. But they had a total of 31 scoring shots, which is...
And they had 8 goal kickers. 8.
Yep. Georgia Hayden kicked 3 for the Lions, but, they're sharing the ball around. Even though they did win by 96 points, there's no blowout of not
one person taking it all on their shoulders. Absolutely. Yeah. Strong performance.
Lucky Pant Hill, they had a week of rest. They secured the bye. Unlike
Div 2.
Yeah, something we don't have in Division 2, which
no rest.
Really do with the bye. The body's sore. But good wrap up for Division 3. They're all very obvious one-sided teams that are taking the cake, which is like you want competitive footy, which is really hard, especially when a few of these teams are they're not first-year teams, but they're not 100% developed yet.
Absolutely.
So, with time it will come. Come with time.
I agree, absolutely. And we have a few talking points on that as well that we'll chat about after we go through the results. So Div 2.
2, yes.
Yes.
Going into Division 2, we had some very big margins around this large division. There is 10 teams in Division 2.
As you can tell, Liv is very passionate about this topic.
Mm-hmm. So Fitzroy Stars defeated Darebin Women's 2 by 88 points, and Natasha Bamblett kicked 3 goals for the Stars, which is a huge backup from last week because Fitzroy Stars only had 14 players last week, so they really needed to turn it around this week.
Yeah.
They are probably one of the top sides, I believe, this year. And with their full list in, you won't be able to stop them. They're fantastic. No. And they run all day. And with a full bench, they will run. Another huge margin came from Ivanhoe, who defeated Montmorency 2 by 111 points.
Yeah.
Georgia Curtis had 8 majors for Ivanhoe.
Can we talk about Georgia? 8 goals.
Huge. Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, very big.
I'd want Georgia on my team.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Lots of grippo on those hands. Next one was Greensboro defeated Murder by 28 points. And then another big goal scorer, Amy Vine, kicked 5 for Greensboro. So
all 5 of their goals.
Yes, that's right. All 5 of them.
Yep.
So if you play for Greensboro, kick it to Amy. So that was probably the smallest margin of the Division 2 round. This round, 28 points. That was the smallest margin we had.
Yeah.
So West Preston defeated Whittlesea by 54 points, and Talia Puccino kicked 4 for the Roosters. 54 points. That's another big margin.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a bit of big blowouts this week.
Yeah. Lower Plenty defeated Thomastown by 69 points. We went into the game with 14 players because we had people with other commitments. We recruited mums on the day. But, we wouldn't have been able to take the field without the awesome people that put their hands up.
Yeah.
Lower Plenty is a very, very high-skilled team, and I am very surprised they are not in Division 1. Shay Audley kicked 4 goals. She's an ex-AFL player. That's the quality football that they're playing and their link-ups. They are a Division 1 side.
I know, football is obviously a team sport, and one player it isn't the be all and end all. Like a handful of players isn't, but when you've got ex-AFLW players on your team, and you are winning games, like the amount of games they're winning, and by the margin they're winning them, I would be very shocked if they don't get a call up, especially given our conversation last week about how Div 1 literally only have 3 games a week.
Yes, that's right. And you know what? If a team went up, they'd get a bye, and we'd get a bye in Division 2. So it'd be a win-win for everyone, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lower Plenty are I look at them as if they don't win the flag, I'll be very, very surprised this year.
Yeah, so would I. I'd be really shocked.
Yeah.
And then win the flag and then go up to
Yeah. Yeah. Their midfield, extremely talented girls. Credit to all of them for obviously how hard they train, and you can just see the gel between them. Even their link-up plays were really, really great, and they trust one another with the ball.
Yeah.
And even though Shay Audley kicked 4 goals, there was still a lot of sharing of the ball for her to get those 4 goals. Like, she didn't just kick them off her own boot. Like, there was lots of link-up play that went into that. So that's all for Division 2. And, 10 teams, huge.
Huge, huge. And then we go to the tiny division.
The little. Play the same team every 3 weeks.
that like bloke, I would actually really like to know your opinion on this, because I can't imagine as a footballer how frustrating it must be going up against the same team every 3 weeks. Like, would that do your head
I
in?
couldn't do it. No.
I just, and
It'd be great. It'd be great because you'd be able to plan accordingly and you'd know who you're coming up against. So, like, you know, game review and match review would be a lot easier because you see the players every 3 weeks.
You know exactly who you're playing.
Exactly right. You know, you study them. You don't have to go, like for us, we don't, like we've got 9 other teams we have to look at. For them, they're pretty, you know, it's annoying, but you play
2 games and then you're going back to the game you literally just reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Div 1 started off with a Friday night game, St. Mary's defeating Heidelberg 54-9. I was actually at this game. I love Friday night footy in local. Side note,
so good.
Love it.
And you get so many like community members just come. You know, they see lights are on, so they're down there. I saw Diamond Creek did it with their men, maybe a month or so ago, and they had the little night market on as well, and it was so busy, like ridiculous.
It's so good, and it gets a bit of fresh air, like you're not competing against every other football game in the state.
On a Saturday at 2
o'clock. So it's nice, but yeah, this was a very dominant performance by St. Mary's. It started early in the first quarter. They got a roll on, and then there was sort of no going back from that for Heidelberg. St. Mary's is a super talented team. I think they'll be up there again this year, but I'm sure Heidelberg as well will lick their wounds. I know they were really disappointed with that loss, and they get to verse them again in 3 weeks' time. So
bring it on. 3 weeks to play
I'm sure it will be a feisty contest. But then we went to Diamond Creek Montmorency, where Diamond Creek defeated Monty 53-42. This was a tight game. We love tight matchups. As we've spoken about
there for a long time. I played at Montmorency for a few years when I was younger, and it was always Diamond Creek and Monty were at the top. It was tit for tat. One was 1 year, one was the next year.
Swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then we have Banyul defeating Darebin 51-16. Rebecca Watson kicked 3 goals, so she had a good game, but two sort of blowouts, one tight game.
I'm finding that last game was at 4:45 yesterday.
It's really late, isn't it?
4:45. I honestly, I was saying to Kirra before we went live tonight, I played footy yesterday at 3 o'clock. I got to the shopping centre at like 5:30 to do my food shop. I was home by 6 and I was like exhausted. I'm thinking, these girls, this is an hour and 45 minutes later. They're not doing their food shopping till 8 o'clock.
Maybe they're doing their food shopping before. No, it is really late.
Yeah, like a Saturday, I get it, which we'll see a little bit later on that there is some Saturday games this week coming up at that time. But Sunday, I don't know. Work was tough today after yesterday.
And you struggle to get a big crowd Sunday at 5 o'clock. Like people are getting ready for their week. I mean, I suppose you could argue once again the clear air vibe, but clear air on a Sunday night is not exactly practical.
No.
So
we actually had to turn the lights on in the last quarter yesterday. We had to turn the lights on. The sun was setting. We had to turn the lights on. Yeah,
right. That's not a vibe.
Like a morning. I felt like it was 6 o'clock in the morning and I'd just woken up.
Funny. No, too funny. But I know, like, I feel like a broken record talking about how there's only six teams in this division, but I'm finding it really hard to judge, like, the division. Like, I find it really hard to see who's a standout. Obviously, St. Mary's and Diamond Creek are both on 5 wins and 2 losses, sorry. So they're the 2 standouts in terms of win-loss, but when you're playing each other so regularly and, you know, one week you're winning, the next week you're losing, I can't even comprehend who's good and who's not so good.
It comes down to performance on the day, I reckon. Like who has the better opportunity, like even just a little 1%, you know, who's feeling better that day. Like, because their skill sets that they have at that division, they're all so competitive and they've all got that want to win about them. So it just comes down to the day and, you know, who had the best pasta for dinner the night before, I reckon.
Are you a pasta before your game, girl?
I'm Subway. Really I'm Subway before the game. Yeah, ham and salad roll.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We love that. I think I'd be pasta.
I might give it up this week because I didn't play very well yesterday.
So we need to change it up. Maybe a pasta.
Yeah, superstition's changing.
Oh, too funny. We've got a comment here from General Chicken Co., our wonderful sponsor. We're kicking goals in the north. We love our sponsors.
We're going to have to come do a show down at General Chicken Co.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine if we did it like just like little
hello, we're here.
Hi everyone. People would be walking in trying to order their chicken. We're just like here recording, talking about football.
Who are these two widow girls? Seriously.
Oh, too funny. But we have a few talking points we want to talk about now that we've made it through the round that was. One thing that I want to ask Liv, and anyone feel free to chime in the comment section. We've seen a lot of, as Liv mentioned, mums had to play in their team on the weekend. I'm really interested in the debate of if we prefer having more women's teams and trying to have every club that has a men's team to also have a women's team, because that's great. We love that. But would we prefer that, or would we prefer to have some sort of cap on benchmark on numbers that you need a set amount of numbers registered to be able to enter into the competition, so that we are trying to limit the amount of blowouts there are, trying to limit the amount of games where there's no one on the bench. I think it's a really interesting debate and one that there is simply no right or wrong answer to. But what is your opinion on it, Liv?
Oh, it's so hard. So we have 28 girls on our list, but then you see on the weekend we only had 14. There's, you know, girls are so much more easily influenced, I feel like, in the footy kind of thing, because there's no incentive to play. You're playing because you love to play footy. Like that's a be all and end all. You're not getting paid, you know, X amount of money like the men are. So it's really, really hard because, you know, for example, we had a player come down 3 weeks before our season started, and she's one of our best players.
Yeah.
So it's so hard because I'd love to say, yes, cut numbers. The people who have registered, the 28 that you've got, that's who you've got. And it, you know, it kind of stops having, someone just transfers there because, you know, they don't like that club anymore. It stops that. But then at the same time, what about the girls that get injured or just can't be bothered anymore?
It's
so hard.
I know the VAFA, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I should have looked it up before we started recording, but I know the VAFA have a rule in women's football because of that exact reason, because there's, you know, more, it's just a fact that women are more likely to not play on the weekend if another commitment comes up. And the VAFA have put a rule in place that you need a minimum of X amount of players to be able to register into the competition. And that is simply so that we don't see this happening. But then you also face...
We saw it with Eltham as well. Eltham entered the competition and then unfortunately they weren't able to field enough numbers.
Absolutely. That must have been really low numbers, because if you know, we're seeing teams play with, you know, 12, 14 players, Eltham must have been really dire. But I think it's an interesting conversation to going forward, because I'm absolutely of the opinion that it's awesome if for the more clubs we have with women's teams, because it's the only way we're going to build the competition. But I worry is probably not the right word, but I worry about the standard that's currently being played with, you know, that. So it's a bit of a chicken and the egg situation. There's no win.
Yes. And, you know, I've had this conversation with many people, like, do we bring in a Division 4 for those teams that are still building? You know, they might have the go in them to want to play football, but, you know, they're still developing. I know it doesn't sound great, Division 4, but it gives girls an opportunity rather than these big blowouts, you know, like we've seen, like the level, like, for example, we lost to Lowell Plenty by 69 points, but we bet Montmorency 2 by 80 points. So it's like, what does that mean for teams like that when they come up against Lower? And it's like, well, what, are we going to have a 160 point like blowout? Like where do you draw the line?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such
Interesting, but yeah,
very interesting. I think it'll only develop as the years go on, and we'll be able to see, see where everyone sits. Hopefully, lower go up. Well, we're going to be the two campaigners. We're going to become cheerleaders for it. Maybe at the end of the year we can split the divisions how we want to propose it. But Jason has said the more teams playing, the better. I agree. I do think that is a very strong sentiment. It'll just be interesting to see. And, moving forward, numbers will grow. So
they will,
it'll help.
Girls talk more than boys. Oh, I'm playing for you. You should just come train. Oh, honestly, that was me this year. I was going to play 2 games, and now look at me every Sunday devoting my life to football.
There are girls out there that aren't like me and aren't stubborn, and will start playing.
Yes.
No, of course. We'll see that develop as the years go on. Should we look at the week that's coming up, Liv?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So Division 3, we see Penton Hill host Wallen. Well, they're going to travel a far way, Wallen. They're going to go to Penton Hill. Yeah. North Heidelberg take on Hurstbridge. Heidelberg West will host Lorimer, and Diamond Creek Women's 2 will host South Morang, and Epping have the bye. Lucky buggers. We love a bye.
In Division 2, we see Mernda take on Monty 2. Thomastown will host Darebin Women's 2. This is the other thing. There's plenty of clubs that have 2 teams.
But you know what? The clubs that have 2 teams are the women's clubs. So Darebin and Diamond Creek only have women. And so they've built a foundation from under 10s. And so they've got next gen players coming every year. So
they literally have been set since the very, very start of exhibition AFLW games. Then we have Thomastown host Darebin Women's 2, as I said, and Ivanhoe host Whittlesea. Lowell Plenty will host West Preston. This will be a great game. We have said that this is 2 contenders, so it'll definitely be a highly
both have very experienced and high-level players, so it'll be interesting to see, players from the same kind of, how do I put it, that have developed the same way, so to speak, as in they've gone through the system before. Yeah.
We'll definitely be talking about that one next week. And then we see Fitzroy Stars host Greensborough.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll go to Division 1. We see St. Mary's host Diamond Creek Women for a Saturday game at 4:45. So I assume they must be playing after the men.
Double header.
Yeah. And then Monty 1 playing Banyule, another Saturday game at 4:45. And then the only Division 1 game on Sunday will be when Heidelberg host Darebin Women's 1. So only one Division 1 game on Sunday. Only one.
It's actually crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, tell Heidelberg, do a Saturday game too.
I'll ring them up and ask them.
Tell them. Everyone else is playing on Saturday. You have to as well.
You have to as well. Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to add about the week of football, Liv?
Oh, no, back to the drawing board. That's about it. Coming off a loss, we were we had won 5 games in a row. So, it's a bit of a, how do you say it? You realize, we can't just win every week. We do still have to put in the effort to make sure that we can back it up.
Yeah, 100%.
A week of hard work, ready to take on Darebin 2 on Sunday.
Love it. I'm excited for us to talk about next week. Hopefully you come back with the W. I'm going to get you to make a very exciting announcement now. We can't finish the show without doing our general Chicken Co Women's League Player of the Week. Now, I think you can take the honours on this one, and I will put up
really bad giving it. I don't say I feel bad giving it to her, but I feel bad exposing this photo. This girl is a trooper. And I'm not just saying it because she plays for Tomo, but she is a weapon. She got elbowed in the eye yesterday. Poor girl couldn't even drive home. She drove home, but she could barely see. So player this week goes to Mon. Her love for the game, and she's still checking on me to make sure I'm okay. And she's got this black eye. I'm like, girl, are you okay?
Are you okay? We love it.
Off to Mon. she's a real true leader. She's our co-captain at Thomastown, and, you know, you just see the way she plays and the way she carries herself. Very well deserving of the Player of the Week this week.
Absolutely. We're very sorry for exposing that photo, but it shows what a true Mon is. So congratulations on being the General Chicken Co. a Player of the Week. I think that wraps us up. I think we have a comment. Yay, Mon.
Mum's commenting from the other room.
Love it. We love some love.
Thanks, Mum. Well, if anyone is keen to come on next week, you want to chat footy, you know, anything, send me your message. You know, we thought this week, just look at our two pretty heads on the screen. But yeah, anyone that's keen to come on, have a chat about footy, we'd love to have you on.
Absolutely. And shout out to Dill. Dill actually went to the same uni as me. I saw him today and he said he would be commenting. So you stuck to it. Thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. We will be back same time next week to discuss all things from the round. We'll have a few more talking points and we might even have some guests for you. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night and we'll be back next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.